Hello everybody and welcome back to my exploration of the Conjuration skill tree under Ordinator perk overhaul. So, let's go ahead and get started here. So between episodes here, I went back to Whiterun and I sold off all my enchanted rings and whatnot. I was able to get plenty of money to refresh our stock a little bit on empty soul gems. Farengard didn't have all that many, but we do have some that we can fill up here. I also bought a whole bunch of spells here. Let's see here. We got some restoration stuff. Not that we're going to use it right away, but once we do switch gears and focus on that and look for synergy with Conjuration there, we're going to need some stuff to use to level up with and to explore through Okado's recital and the spell scribe perk that we have that releases the stored spell whenever you do a power attack with a melee weapon. So Bone Spirit will be fun when we take on Undead. Which actually reminds me, sorry, I was switching gears there very slowly. It reminds me that we did get a letter from Falk Firebeard concerning Potema being resurrected. So we can take on the second part of that quest at some point. I think our main goal for right now, what we're going to focus on, is finishing out the college quest line, so that we can get access to the master level spells. So Bone Spirit is one of them. Calm is another illusion spell. That is something that we can tie to Spell Scribe, so that we can have a chance of calming the person that we're power attacking so that they won't attack us back, which is an awesome concept in my opinion. Courage, I wanted to try this out on a summoned minion to see if the extra health and stamina actually applies to it. I don't know of a way to actually look at the minion's stats, but I'm sort of counting on there being a message up in the upper left-hand corner if it doesn't apply to that type of NPC. Fear, I think, would also be fun to hook up to Spell Scribe. These are the lowest level spells in the illusion category, just because Farengard doesn't have a whole lot of higher level ones, and I think we were still only level 44 in illusion by the time I bought these. He should have more when we go back there, and I'm not really sure who is available back at the College of Winterhold. All the good vendors and stuff might be a little busy with Onkano fiddling with the Eye of Magnus over there. We already had Fear. How about that? It wasn't marked as red for some reason. Fireball, another fun one to hook up to Spell Scribe. I think that would actually add some ranged damage to our power attacks too, which is awesome. Healing Hands. I wonder if this works on our minions. I know we have other spells that are used for it, but those aren't vanilla spells. This, however, is... Oh, no, it says right there it's not going to work on Atronachs or machines or undead, so, yeah, whatever. We'll have it, just to have it, I guess. It was cheap. Ice Shiv, if we start taking on more of a sneaky gameplay style, this does 3 times damage from behind. Might be fun to mess around with. I don't know. Actually, that would also be fun to hook up to Spell Scribe as well to see if we can get some back shots with our power attacks and do 3 times damage with our ice spell there. Ice Storm, this is another fun one to hook up to Spell Scribe, I thought. Ice Storm really put us through the ringer a few times in some other battles, so I thought that would be fun to actually use it for ourselves once in a while. Okay, so I wanted to mess with the Courage spell, I think, to see if that would affect our Atronachs. or anything else we had that was under illusion, courage. Doesn't say anything about not working. So let's go ahead and put that in our right hand, and our left hand will cast a Frost Atronach, just because they provide the biggest target. Resisted courage, yeah, so that's not going to work. It was worth a shot. We're exploring, right? If you're exploring, you're not always going to run into Shangri-La on each adventure, so. Alright, the other thing I was able to do was buy some cheap iron ore. I actually thought I bought 52 from Oathbirth Warbear at the Iron Maiden, or I'm sorry, the War Maidens blacksmith shop in Whiterun. Apparently that became 29 at some point. I don't know how, but there it is. We have some iron ore to turn into gold ore at some point if we can replenish our stock of filled soul gems at some point. We need something to enchant. That's ready for us. What else? Oh yeah, throughout the process of enchanting all those gold rings and everything and selling them all off, I did acquire a new level up. Probably more than one, I would guess. So let's see what we have there. I also cast a whole bunch of Muffle around town in Whiterun while I was doing that, just to bolster our illusion spell, just so our illusion skill, just so we can take some more perks there. Oh my gosh, 3 levels, 5 perks to spend. Awesome. Just see if we can take some more perks here in this branch. We definitely can there, and we're waiting for 80 on the next one. I wouldn't be surprised if we got that fairly soon. Let's just take a quick cruise through the rest of these perks here to see if there's anything that is immediately useful for us. Night Eye Power, we already have it. Not particularly useful with E and B, but we already have a Night Eye solution. Ghost of the 10th Eye. So, Vision of the 10th Eye is a spell that you get through a ritual quest for the Master Spells, and I think it's either Illusion or it's Alteration. I think it's Illusion. It's otherwise useless in the vanilla game outside of that ritual spell quest. But this perk kind of gives it a use. I don't see it being super useful for this character, at least at this point. Basically, it gives you a disembodied eye that you can control that acts as a scout. It only has 1 point of health, but it's invisible and silent. And it kind of allows you to go through an area and scout it out and see what's going on before you enter it yourself. Kind of cool. Sort of fits the character, I guess, a little bit, but I don't see any synergy there, per se. Entice Barter. Any enemies that you have calmed, you can actually initiate trade with them. I don't see that as super useful. Activate any hostile creature or humanoid in combat to summon an illusion of the target. Relentlessly attacks the target for 30 seconds. No, not really. It doesn't really fit this concept. Activate any non-hostile creature or humanoid in combat to summon an illusion of the target, and it fights for the target. This might actually be cool. It requires level 90, so we won't be able to take it for a while. But I wonder if this works on Atronachs or other summoned, or other summons. So what this does, it looks like we can go and we can activate one of our minions, and it will summon an illusion of that minion that will fight for 60 seconds and won't flee. It has a 5-minute cooldown on it, so we can only do one minion summon one illusion of one minion at a time, but it will give us an extra minion, effectively, I think. That works, right? Unfortunately, we have to take a bunch of perks that we don't want in order to get there, but it seems kind of cool. Alright, so this is the, or at least one of, I think probably the level 100 perk. After using an activate perk, probably Blind Guardian in our case, illusion spells are 50% more powerful and last 50% longer for 10 seconds. The cooldown of activate perks ends after 8 seconds out of combat, which just it helps us get access to those activate abilities a little sooner if we're able to kill everybody pretty quickly. What else do we have here? Imposing Presence. This is the one that we looked at that affects both friendly and hostile creatures and people in our vicinity. It just makes illusion spells 25% more effective and last longer for anybody in the vicinity. And we're not really casting, at least not at this, well, we are at this point with the Illusory Flames, but that's probably more of a temporary thing, just so we can level up illusion. But I can see that as sort of an alternate sort of tweak that you can make to a build like this, where he focuses on illusion magic instead of destruction. So this might be useful. So if you take 25% of 30%, it's somewhere between 7 and 8% additional power on illusory magic, or the illusory flames. So I wonder how that scales. Is that well, let's take a look at that spell real quick here. So illusory flames. So it deals 30% of their current health as temporary damage that wears off after 3 seconds. So I wonder if we increase the amplitude of this spell, if it either makes it more than 30% or longer than 30 seconds. I really don't know, and I think that would be a hard one to determine too. Interesting. It's something to think about. And anyway, it is a legitimate substitution illusion for destruction, especially if you wanted to have less of an immediate direct impact on the battlefield. If you're using a conjure or summon type character because you want to be like the captain of the battlefield and have all your minions do your work for you, illusion's kind of the way to go, because you're able to cast spells on your enemies to have your enemies do your work for you instead of blasting them with destruction magic and causing direct damage. But there's that. That's worth thinking about. Those affected by a calm spell or effect within the radius of imposing presence lose 200 points of armor. I'm not crazy about this one, just because if they're under the effect of a calm spell, they're not really much of a threat anyway. Now, of course, if you attack them, that might break the calm spell, and if they start attacking you after that, you do want them to be weaker. But regardless, we're not really using calm all that much with this character right now. Shadow Refuge. While affected by an invisibility spell or effect, you take 35% less damage from attacks, and sneaking is 15% better. So this is interesting to think about. We could hook Ghost Walk up to Okado's Recital, which is an invisibility effect, and that will cause us to take 35% less damage, which is great for a squishy character. That's interesting to think about. And casting Ghost Walk through Okado's Recital is kind of a cool effect, in my opinion. It makes combat in this game really unique in that you become invisible immediately, which makes it possible to hide from your enemies even after they've detected you. And then once you do attack your enemy, it breaks the invisibility and sends you back to where combat started, which can kind of be a confusing, or it can be seen as a confusing effect on your enemies. Kind of unique. Neverworld. Those affected by a calm spell or effect, again, we're not really using calm all that much. Within the radius of imposing presence are enraptured by a lotus dream from which they may refuse to return to reality. When calm is broken due to attack, they may become calmed again for 30 seconds. And again, we're not really using calm all that much, so I'm not really too interested in that. Terror. Those affected by a fear spell or effect within the radius of imposing presence drop their weapon. We're not really using fear either. Again, we can hook this stuff up to Spellscribe and take advantage of this stuff, I suppose. Which might be fun to look at, but not really, doesn't really have any direct synergy with any of the stuff we're doing in Conjuration or the spell sword stuff that we've been pursuing. Soul Crusher. Feast upon the minds affected by a fear spell or effect within the radius of imposing presence, absorbing 25% of their magicka per second. Again, interesting, but most of what we cast is already cast for free anyway because of our alteration perks that we've taken there. Those affected by a frenzy spell or effect within the radius of imposing presence gain an extra 50% attack damage, which can be both a good or a bad thing depending on who those frenzied enemies decide to attack. We would most likely be hooking this up to our Spellscribe ability, and we use mostly melee weapons, so we would probably be the first thing in their line of sight. We don't really want to make our enemies that are right in front of us more powerful. Those affected by a frenzy spell or effect within the radius of imposing presence are consumed by battle hunger when there are no other enemies remaining, taking 40 points of damage per second. That's also kind of cool. The Reaper comes. Activate any non-essential humanoid only under the effect of a calm spell to send a wraith to slay the target within 15 seconds. This counts as an assault if you get seen. This effect has a 180-second cooldown and can only affect one target at a time. Again, we're not really dealing with humanoids directly unless we're against them. Your attack against the targets ignore armor. This effect has a 180-second cooldown. So this stuff is more for the sneaky type characters that are trying to assassinate humanoid enemies, it looks like. Heavyweights the Tapestry. Activate any humanoid only under the effect of a frenzy spell to incapacitate the target with magical exhaustion for 30 seconds and drain 500 points of magicka and stamina. Yeah, situational, not really directly synergistic with any of the stuff that we're doing. We already talked about Protect Your God. We're definitely taking it once we get to 80. Dream Thief. It makes our illusion spells 50% more powerful for an hour. If we steal a dream, again, we don't know how that affects illusory flames. But if we decide to switch to a more illusion type archetype, that would definitely be useful. Mind affecting spells and effects are 15 points stronger. So if we're going to be using a lot of calm and frenzy and fear effects, we're definitely going to want to take this. Those points definitely, effectively act as like levels. So they allow you to affect higher leveled enemies. Fickle Fate. Mind-affecting spells and effects cast on others are between 1 and 40 points stronger, chosen at random. Again, the whole level thing. Mind-affecting spells and commanding presence also work on undead, daedra, and automatons. So this would allow us to cast Rally on our troops. That would be kind of cool. We'll have to think about that. We could take that right now. We don't have access to rally right now because our level is too low to be able to buy that from spell vendors, but we could take that right now and try that out. Dream Charm. Activate sleeping victims to project yourself into their dream and improving their disposition toward you. High disposition may earn you quests, discounts, and gifts. That sounds fun, but again, it doesn't really directly apply to this build. And Dream Gaze. Activate sleeping victims to send a dream that compels them to fight at your side until released. So basically you get another minion. A thrall, as it were, like a vampire's thrall. Okay, so we have a couple things to look at in here. I don't think we saw much over here. Blind Guardian was something that we could look at. And Protect Your God when we get to level 80. And what was it? Master of the Mind. All of these are really expensive in terms of perk points that it's going to take to get them. I would say it wouldn't really be worth it to take these unless you're going to focus on illusion with your build. We have 4 perks to spend right now. We are leveling up quite rapidly, and we have a whole lot of other skills that we can tap into to get more perks if we need to. So I'm not really concerned about not having enough perks, but I do want to look at restoration here. The big one that I wanted from this was Under My Wings. Dual casting a healing spell on yourself, also cast it on nearby non-mechanical allies within 20 feet. Does not apply to concentration spells. So we're going to want, let's see, probably another one in Mastery, although it's not absolutely necessary. It's going to be helpful if we're dual casting these spells constantly. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4 perks to get there at level 70 for restoration. Not terrible, especially considering I think that's the only one I want. I'll review these on my own time to see if there's anything more over there. Over here we had 1, 2, 3 perks to take here to get to that one that we wanted there. I would probably go this route instead of the Entice Barter route, just because Imposing Presence might actually be useful for us. So 3 perks to get to there, and let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4 perks to get to this one. So 7 perks. For really only 2 useful ones, plus this one, which we already knew about. Which is very expensive, but again, we only need 4 extras to get to everything that we want in the restoration tree. So, okay, let's go ahead and do this then. We'll take Imposing Presence. It'll make our illusion spells more powerful within a certain radius. Nemesis, and then Blind Guardian we'll have ready to go once we get to 90. Once we get to 80, we'll be able to take Protect Your God. And then we'll go ahead and take Dream Thief, Kindred Mage, and Fickle Faith when we can get there. And Master of the Mind when we get there. Dang, you know what? I should have... I think I would have had enough to take Master of the Mind once I got there, but that's alright. We'll get there soon enough. Okay, so I'm sorry to lecture you for so long there, but I think that does it for everything that I wanted to talk about. So now let's go ahead and do some stuff, right? I think first and foremost, we're going to get rid of our frosty friend here. Go ahead and take a break back in Oblivion. And then we need to get some rest because Aralas has been up for a while. I don't want to cause any bugs by sleeping while that effect was active there. It's pretty much noon, so let's sleep for 8 hours. It should be nighttime when we wake up. And then we're going to take the fight to Labyrinthian and go through that whole shebang so we can advance the Mage's Guild quest line. Okay, here we are at Labyrinthian. We got the whole band back together, and we're ready to take on some, I'm guessing, some frost trolls over here. Should be able to level up illusion a little bit more. And probably fight some undead. We might switch our spell strike ability to something with some fire to take on the undead we're gonna have roaming around here at some point. That was a lame chest, wasn't it? Oh, we did sleep, but I forgot to eat and drink afterwards. So let's have some apple pie, carrot, and some cooked beef. Ah, that's right, we're full now. We'll have some nice stout ale, I suppose, to warm us up, and some water, and that should hydrate us just fine. Let's see, are there any trolls over here that we need to worry about? Each troll encounter here is going to level up our illusion, our alteration, and our one-handed skill tree, and it will also fill some soul gems for us too. So I do want to go clear out all these trolls that are roaming around this area. I think there are 3 or 4 total. There was one down there. I believe there's one up here, and I think there's one more toward the middle of the area. Where'd you find him? Is he over here? Where'd he go? I have no idea where that came from. Oh. There was one up there after all, and there was one right here too. I don't think I got the soul for that, and probably not going to get the soul for this one either, but let's see if we can sprint here. Yeah. Ooh, okay, yeah, we might be able to here. Yeah, we did. We got the soul. Great. And let's see, that was 3 total. There might be one toward the back end over there, and there might be one closer to the gate up there where we're going. So let's see if we have any over here. Do we have one of these icy stinkers? Oh yeah, there he is. Alright guys, he's over here. Are you chasing one over there now? Whatever. Mistimed my dodge on that one. He got a quick shot in there. Go ahead and heal up. So we'll get some restoration out of the ordeal. Quick save just in case we crash or run into some trouble or something here. Okay. And sorry if I'm boring you here, but we got some more talking. Not from me this time, but from the game.
We're finally here.
For whatever that's worth.
Waste any more time.
I wonder if I can just skip through this stuff. Just blow past it. There we go. Alright, a whole lot of skeletons here. Should I bother even looting these guys? Gold is good. Alright, that's good enough.
You keep
talking like you're sure we'll find something useful in here.
Given the history of this place, it's more than likely there's still some amount of power.
Ooh, what's that? Telekinesis? Sure, why not?
Shattered secrets themselves. Who knows what we could find?
Are there any chests or anything in here? Yeah, no, it doesn't look like it.
Against 6 college-trained mages? I think we'll be fine.
I think we'll be fine. Famous last words, right? Okay, now here is the dragon fight. We might need to resummon our allies once we get over there. Who are you finding over here? We must be getting riled up by the whatever's waiting for us over there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get in there, but we're going to recast our conjures if they don't make it in there with us. So let's be ready for that. Let's go ahead and quick save here. Get in there. Yeah, they didn't make it, did they? Okay, let's find some cover. And we've got to level up. That's good. So let's get the Dremora Lord out here first. Then we're going to do our Flame Atronach. We've got a friend over here. Really hates us. Storm Atronach. Oh, there's that guy. And I think that was everything, right? Did we get Frosty? Do we have everyone? We got Stormy, we got the lead singer over there. Yeah, we got Frosty, didn't we? Frosty the Snowman. Okay. So sorry, more looting. Okay, so we did pretty well in that fight simply by summoning minions and trying to avoid damage. I expect we'll be doing a lot of that at legendary difficulty, so I suppose we may as well get used to it now, right? And we may as well go ahead and level up while we're at it too. Illusion's still only at 67. Ooh, no. Magic. We're waiting for 80 for Protect Your God. You take Fickle Fate now. We're one more level away from getting Master of the Mind, and then we can see if we can cast Courage and things like that on our Atronachs and Dremora. So then we're waiting for level 80 for Protect Your God over there, and level 90 for Blind Guardian. We might have to just start casting Muffle Like a Madman. Muffle Like a Madman, I like that. To boost that up to the levels that we need it at some point. But we can do that at literally any time, because that spell doesn't require us to be in combat in order for it to progress the skill. Baking powder? I don't know. Did you guys understand that? I sure didn't. Oh, there's this guy. Alright, and we need some actual flames to get through this magic barricade here. There we go. Back to the illusory stuff. Oh, and what did this guy have on him? Anything good? Yeah. Anything else in here really quick? Negative. Help me out here, guys. Bad guy. There we go. Whoa. Oh, coming at us. I thought that was one of my own minions. That's gonna get confusing, right? Let's see. There's another dumbass down here. Alright, we still have our distorted shape active. Let's take advantage of it. Getting the hang of it here, yeah. Too easy. Oh, that sucks. Okay, not much on him for a conjurer. Equilibrium, I don't think we'll be using that much. A whole bunch of nice alchemy ingredients there, but Connor ain't into that. It's not Connor's bag, baby. Does that do it for this area? Yeah, it does. Excuse me there, Stormy. We're gonna have to recast that guy. Death Lord. It's kind of a crappy weapon for a Death Lord, right? I like to loot the Death Lords because they often carry ebony weapons, which are very valuable. And being valuable items, they level up the enchanting perk a lot faster than, say, like an iron sword. There's a Death Lord with an elven bow. That's a new one. I think there was another one, just a restless one. Isn't there one more up here somewhere? Eh, it doesn't look like it. Okay, let's recast our minions once we get in there. I know there's another area up there that I neglected to explore, but I'm not really too worried about it. I'm more interested in the levels. Trying to buy a little space here so that I have some room to conjure new minions without it getting too crowded. Oh, wait a second. Loot the urns too. Lost our sword. Wait a second. Every once in a while I cast a dud on that bound sword. Have you noticed? Oh, jeez. Little finicky, this conjuration stuff, isn't it? Let's go ahead and cast some more summons up here. The Lord, Flame Atronach, the Floss Atronach, Frost Atronach, and the creepy, nerdy Storm Atronach. Okay, back to our bound sword and illusory force. And we got another level up, which is tasty, delicious even. Now there should be a couple of actual like regular trolls down here. Oh, it looks like our minions already took care of that one. I think there's one down this little path over here too, I think. Somewhere down here. There's a chest. Ooh, and a Grand Soul Gem that we still have yet to fill, which I like. I'm remembering another pathway down there somewhere, but I might be thinking of the wrong little area here. Oh yeah, there's the little cavern with the other troll down there. Hey, how that guy robs you of your magical pool. One-handed up to 90 already, huh? You like that. Okay, let's take the opportunity to level up here. Still Magicka, we're getting ever closer to that magic 750 level. I think we're actually going for 800 because we got a boost of 50 from another alteration perk that we took. Protect your god. No, we're looking at Master of the Mind. Okay, now let's see if our courage spell actually affects our Atronachs. Oh, wait a minute. Who are they finding? Oh yeah, there's a skeleton up there. Are you guys gonna kill him or what? I can't get up there anyway from here. Might have to go through there. Let's see, was there another... Oh no, the troll is up there. Sorry, it's been a while since I've done this one. Where's the troll? Oh, there he is. Okay, Mr. Skeleton is waiting for us now. Oh, there he goes. Well done. Okay, now let's go ahead and switch to Courage and see if Frosty gets a little braver. Oh yeah, it works now, huh? This makes these guys stronger. Where did the Tremor Lord go? Oh, he kind of blends into the background here, doesn't he? Interesting. So that does help. There are ways to make that a little more efficient too. I'll talk about that in a minute. Ooh, okay, now we got a tougher enemy coming up here. Let's go ahead and get ready. You guys all ready to go? Alright, let's go do it. Wait for them to catch up here. Now, we have a Wisp Mother coming up here very shortly. We want to stick to our tactic of letting Distorted Shape do its job, which is the perk that when we gain a flesh spell makes us intangible for, I believe, 10 seconds or until we perform an offensive action. We're going to take advantage of that to let our minions take aggro of the enemy and then pick our shots when we can. There we go. Perfect. Nice. And that's how you do it. Now, it's working well at Adept. we shall see how well it works on legendary, or even, you know, expert. Some glow dust in here, it tends to be valuable, so why not? I think there were like 4 wisps around here, wasn't there? I thought I saw 4. Maybe there were only 3. Not a big deal anyway, just some gold. All good stuff there. Okay, getting closer here. Let's go ahead and save because that was a good fight. That ended up going well for us. Fire, so we're going to need to switch to frostbite. Too easy. Back to illusory flames.
Come on, we can't stop now.
Where's Anamalie?
Oh, now we got the sort of raids here now too. With the Drainheart stuff. These weapons are pretty cool. There's a lot of roleplay juice with these Drainheart weapons. I don't know if you can temper them to make them more powerful through blacksmithing, but they're very light. They'd be a great weapon for certain character concepts, I think. You could even model one all-around one, I think. Oh, there goes our sword. And it looks like we've gone through all of our empty soul gems. And we lost some minions here. Maybe we'll cast some in here. Yeah, I think this would be a good place for a refresh. Back to the sword. And the illusory flames. Come on, it's one skeleton. Well, that's a tough skeleton. Still, there are 4 of you and 1 of it. Alright, are we good? Alright. Gonna have to get through. Minions are a dime a dozen these days, so I can cast more once I'm through here. Gold ingot, I like that. What else is up there? Ooh, soul gem. There we go. Did I get it? Yeah, I did. Oh, here we go. Oh, and he wiped out our magica pool, so we can't fresh Frosty and the Lord just yet. Ooh, that's a Death Lord in there too. I hope Frosty and the Flame Astronaut can deal with them there. Of course, our Conjuration level is getting so incredibly high that it takes very little magic to actually cast these guys anymore. And Frosty. Okay, save it up. What's next? What's next? Draugr. Easy peasy. Oh, that one died from just the secondary chain lightning effect. That was cool. Spectral Warhound. Ectoplasm. I think I'm getting a little bit of lag trying to loot the Spectral Warhounds because I think Hunterborn is confused on whether or not it should take over for that one. Just kind of amusing, I think. The game saying like, wait, is this an animal or what? Air ingots. I don't know if I actually need those. We'll take the potions though. They are valuable for their ouch. Is it me, or is it the these traps are way more powerful than the spells themselves? Like, it hurts more to get hit by these soul gem traps than it is to get hit by the spells that are being cast by the same exact spells that are being cast by actual enemies. It's funny, right? I think I want something that rattles the cage a little bit. Let's try Fireball. That should cause a little bit of a concussive force. I think that there are some more traps over there that are going to be a pain in the ass. Yeah. Okay. That did work out pretty well, I think. Heal it up. Got some more of these ethereal Draugr over here. I kind of love the Dremora Lord because he just talks all kinds of shit just constantly while he's fighting. It's one of my favorites. He also happens to be one of the most powerful summons in the game. Lots of love. Not a whole lot of fun stuff in here. There are 2 chests and nothing too exciting. Whoa! Anything good down here? Doesn't look like it. Got another soul gem, that's nice. Ingots will always take. Oh, and there's another Draugr down there. Excellent. Alright. Save it up. Okay, let's hang out here for a little bit so we can regain our lost magicka. Such a nuisance. We use very little magicka for actually casting spells these days. But we still do have that alteration perk that allows our magicka pool to sort of act as a force field against both physical and elemental damage, as long as we have some in the tank. So it's nice to have it. Ooh, an ebony shield. We can enchant that. Honed ancient Nord greatsword of. It's almost not worth the wait, but we'll take it anyway. We can still drop it if we need to. Ugh. Got us again with the magic drain. Okay. We're coming up on the tail end of this episode here. Once we're able to defeat Mordecai, I think. Ooh, and a level up. I thought we had had one before this, but I guess not. Just make sure that we're not missing any super sweet chests or anything around here. Again with the magic drain. We were able to make use of our distorted shape again on that one to let our conjures or our conjurations take point and draw aggro for us. So that worked out well. Getting the hang of it, slowly but surely.
I'll be right with you.
Agreed.
Just preparing this whole time for legendary difficulty to see how that works. Looking forward to getting some good legendary footage to showcase, along with the perk guide that I want to be putting out. Okay, now this is sort of the ultimate battle. I would call it the main boss battle of this level, but it's not really the last one. There is, I don't remember his name, Estormo, I think, that confronts you at the end of this. Okay, so first we gotta take out these enthralled wizards. That are holding Mordecai in place there. And now the Dragon Priest is free. Let's hope our minions are going to do some work on him. While we work on closing the gap here. Go. Getting sloppy. Use some more stamina there, can't we? I know we've been focusing... Ooh, Dragon Priest. Magic regenerates 100% faster, and time between shouts is reduced 20%. This is affected by Zim's immersive artifacts. One of my must-have mods for things that are supposed to be like these legendary artifacts that have disappointing effects on them. This is a good one, I think. If Connor were Dragonborn and used shouts, I could see him using this, but it does count as light armor, so it would void out the unarmored, or the perks that require him to be unarmored, such as Distorted Shape. Which is not good. Okay, now there is a chest right down here, around the corner to the left, that is easy to miss. Not a whole lot of good stuff in there. And we got a boss chest here. Nordic short spear. Kind of cool, but not for us. Got a nice valuable scroll in there that we can sell off for training in soul gems and spell tomes. Okay. Now we have a big fight coming up here, so let's get ready for that. Quick save.
Sorry, friends. I'm so sorry.
Yada yada yada.
I had no choice.
Okay. Here's where the real fight is going to take place. Maybe not. It's getting close, I promise. There he is.
So, you made it out of there alive.
Ankana was right. You are dangerous.
I am dangerous.
I'm afraid I'll have to take that stuff from you now. Ankana wants you kept safe. Oh, and he wants you dead.
Yeah, he wants lots of things, I take it. Get out of my way.
You fool. You don't stand a chance.
Well, yeah. We'll see about that. Oh, he's trying to zap me, but he can't because I am intangible. Where did Stormo go? That's a stupid name, by the way. Eh. I don't think he was alive to hear my sick burn. That's okay. We'll take his clothes and leave his corpse naked. For whoever seems to find him, he'll be super embarrassed. Okay. Silver sapphire necklace. That's quite valuable. That will help with enchanting. Okay, I think that is about it for this area here. We'll probably just have to sell off all our loot. Do some administrative things, and then head back to the college to close out the main quest there. Now, of course, we still have all the ritual quests to do for the spell schools that we have 100 level skills in. So there still is some juice left from the college. But we're getting closer and closer to being done with the place, and we can move on to some more interesting things. But first, let's go ahead and level up. We got all the way up to 78 illusion, which is not bad, and we're very close to 79. I'm tempted to just go ahead and cast Muffle over and over again to get to level 80 so we can take this other perk. Level 700 on Magicka, which is nice. 10 levels away from being able to cast an additional summon, which is awesome. Protect your god in 1.01 levels. So let's see how close we can get with our Muffle spell here. Yeah, we want spells, illusion, Muffle. 79 and 80. There it is. Okay. And we have 2 perks to use up. This one goes to Protect Your God. Okay, so this will be fun. We're going to have to try to let ourselves get hit at some point. See what if there's like a visual cue or something that indicates that this is kicking in. So when we get hit by a regular weapon, I'm guessing that includes ranged weapons like bows and crossbows, as well as melee weapons. It may or may not, I'm guessing that means compel a nearby ally affected by commanding presence, so within that 40-foot radius, to engage your attacker, dealing 250% extra damage, so 2.5 times their regular damage for 5 seconds. So that's kind of cool. Especially seeing as how we have summons with ranged powers that can cover a lot of distance and be cast instantly. That should be pretty cool. So now we're 10 illusion levels away from level 90, which will give us Blind Guardian, which will let us activate one of our minions to summon an illusion of him that will fight on our behalf for 1 minute. So it'll let us say summon an illusion of the Daedric Lord, so we'll have 2 of those running around for 60 seconds. And this basically, aside from making our illusion spells more powerful, it lets us use that Blind Guardian a little more often, situationally. So I'm not really too concerned about taking that one. We can save the perk there for something else. Okay, so once we hit Illusion 90, we'll probably go ahead and do what we can to get that to 100 just for the master level spells and the higher level spells that we can use for Spell Scribe. And then what? The other schools that we have, let's see, we'll be able to do the ritual quest for Conjuration and Alteration, and then Illusion after that. And then we need to work on filling out our Destruction tree and making sure that gets up to level 100. So that we can get the master level spells there. Same with Restoration. So I think very soon, probably within the next episode or something, we'll be able to switch gears and focus on Restoration and get that Under My Wings perk that looks interesting over there. Allows us to dual cast Restoration spells. Is it Restoration only spells? And they will apply to all of our minions. Just healing spells. That's a little more limited. But we'll be able to get that to level 100 eventually. Let's see, is that it for all of our spell schools? Illusion, Conjuration, Destruction, Restoration, and Alteration. That's it, huh? And then we can start focusing on filling out our perk trees a little more. There's some juice that I want in one-handed. We can also take that opportunity to start filling out or start experimenting with alternate build types like bound bow archery range type and bound battle axe, more two-handed barbarian type stuff, which will be fun. Still a little bit of juice left. I don't plan on spending too much longer on those alternative build types, but I do want to spend a little bit of time at Legendary difficulty and see how this stuff works. So I think we're getting within probably 5 or 6 episodes before this series is closed out, and then we can move on to Necromancy, which is going to be fun too. So moving along pretty quickly here. I think that does it for this episode, huh? As always, thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me on my adventure and thinking through these things with me. I hope you're enjoying it. But until next time, I'm going to see you later.